Hi guys, so I'm in Los Angeles, meeting up with publishers for my book. I finished my book. I wrote a whole book. I cannot believe it. And after my meetings, I went to the Bel Air Hotel to meet up with my friends and just hang out. By the way, if you're in Los Angeles and you want to be successful, stop going to Delilah, stop going to Dante, go to the Bel Air Hotel. It's the best place in Los Angeles to network because all the successful people, they don't just hang out at the Bel Air Hotel, they live there, they reside there, they're all residents. Every successful person you know in LA has a residency at the Bel Air Hotel. Anyway, while I was there, I sat next to this 85-year-old interior designer, and she's the interior designer to the stars, but right now her main client is the legendary Mel Brooks. And so I just picked her brains. I wanted to, you guys know me, I'm always gonna pick successful people's brain. First of all, she was so fabulous. She was decked out from head to toe. I mean, you could not tell she was 85 years old at all. And I asked her to please give me 5 advices that she would give me if I were her daughter, her granddaughter, and you know, someone who's accomplished so much in life already, but now I'm at an impasse in my life where I'm finding it hard to take rejection because I'm shifting into writing full time. And here are the 5 life advices she gave me. Let's do it. Hi, my name is Nika. Not Nike. The first advice she gave me, which I've never heard anyone put it like this, you guys know I always say to be successful is to be a fearless networker, but she did one better than me. She said, there's no work without network. And I was like, huh? She goes, no work without network. She said when she was still struggling in her 20s to be an interior designer, she wanted to be a famous interior designer, that she would come to the Bel Air Hotel that now she is a resident of. She didn't speak much English. She was from Israel. And she would just sit at the bar. Years ago, 60 years ago. And she would sit there and she would try to meet all the famous stars who would come through there, especially during like award season. She's like, I would just sneak in and sit at the bar and just wait to meet people once a week at least. I would do that all the time. Number 2, she said, is to never give up on your dream. She said, I don't think I'm the most talented person, but I'm incredibly persistent. She said to me, if you pick up anything today, she's like, what do you think you're good at? I was like, I don't know if I'm good at anything either. She goes, let's say you pick up drumming today. If you do it for 10 years, you'll be good at it. Even if you don't have any talent, you will figure out a way to be good at it. If you do it every single day for 10 years. If you do it for 20 years, you'll be successful at it. Even if you have 0 talent. The most successful people have nothing to do with talent. It's how persistent they are, how much they don't give up no matter what. So she said to me, you just don't quit. If you want to be a writer full time, because I was like, I want to be a writer full time. And she's like, if you want to do it full time, you write every single day. You write every single day. No matter how many publishers says no to you, you write every day. Every day. And in 20 years from now, you will environment. And I myself have mentioned this ad nauseum at this point, but she said something that I've never thought of. She said it's one thing to put yourself in an environment that's not the most good for you, most progressive for you in your 20s. It's another to be in that environment in your 30s. So the example she got married at 19 years old, and her husband could only afford a small little studio that was in not the best neighborhood, and they had a child at 19. You know, and she said, but I waited another 13 years to have my second born because I knew that I could not be in the environment that I was in at 19 in my 30s. Because if you live in an environment in your 30s, you're going to live in that environment forever. The chances of you getting out of that environment is slim to none. So she said, whatever you do, by the time you're 30, you want to be in proximity to how successful you want to be in life, based on that environment that you're in. I don't know if that makes sense. So she knew that her and her husband wanted to live in Bel Air, but of course they couldn't afford a nice place in Bel Air. So she's like, we just got a studio apartment and we raised our first son, who's now in his 40s, I think she's in late 40s, there in that studio apartment, they had their second son. So imagine she already had 2 kids living in a studio apartment in Bel Air before this woman became a multimillionaire. But because she put herself in a small little studio with her husband in Bel Air, she was able to just walk to the Bel Air Hotel all the time and be around success all the time. Environment will predetermine how successful you're going to be. Number four, which is the most important to me personally, and I want to hold most of it dear to my heart, but I will share a little bit. She said, and I love this, she said, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. And that's very hard for me to digest right now because I'm not going to lie, there is a part of me that feels like I'm failing right now because I have always been an overachiever, a straight A student. Anything I want to accomplish, I just accomplish it, right? Like accomplishments have never really been hard for me. So to get to the point now where I'm pivoting in my career and I'm hearing a lot of no's, I'm finding it hard to digest it terribly actually. But she said to me, abundantly clear to me that her greatest achievements always came after a colossal failure. That even in her 80s, she's still working by the way, that in her 80s, she will feel so big, she will learn from that failure, she will digest it, she will sit with it, and then she will try again, and then she will achieve it. But she cannot accomplish anything without failing at it first. And for a lot of overachievers, a lot of type A personalities, when we fail, we kind of just give up. And she goes, no, the best thing to do is to take failure as part of success. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. This, which was a great lesson of mine, networking is the best thing, but nurturing those network will take you even further in life. So as she was getting ready to go back to her room, her residence, I just said, oh my God, goodbye. Thank you so much for the life advice. And she goes, you're not going to ask me for my number, an email, something, anything? And I was like, well, I don't want to disturb you. Like, I can tell that you're tired and you're going to bed. She goes, everything I just told you, everything I just taught you, you just feel that if you don't get my information. And I thought, oh my God, what a lesson. So I got her phone number and I hope to keep in touch with her. She goes, anytime you're in town, you take me out to dinner. We go out to eat and I'll give you more advice. You nurture those relationships. You don't let them go. That's it. I believe in you and I hope you always believe in yourself.